years? How many years old? Any idea? No? Okay. And of course, we know Radha is young, just younger to Krishna by how many days? We've got first Janmashtami coming up, and then we've got Radhashtami coming up, 15 days.
15 days.
Yes. So this is interesting. Krishna is always 15 years, 9 months, 7.5 days old. And Radha is always 15 years, 8 months, 22.5 days old. Eternally. They will never age beyond that. Now, it's very difficult for us to understand or comprehend with our material senses, but that's what we hear from the Acharyas and the Shastras. So this Radha and Krishna are being served by the 8 principal gopis. Correct? So these are the principal gopis. Anybody who's visited Mayapur would know very well, would even memorize all those 8 gopis. So amongst the 8 gopis, who is principal, the chief of the gopis? Lalita. Lalita is a chief. So she is 27 days older than Radha. Again, there nobody ages. So that's their eternal age. So likewise, we've got Vishakha, Champakalata, Chitra, Tungavidya, Indulekha, Rangdevi, and Sudevi. Now, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, each of these gopis also appear. So Lalita is none other than Sarup Damodar, who was the personal associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He was always with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Whenever Mahaprabhu felt the need to or urge to hear Bhagavatam, it was Sarup Damodar who recited, and Mahaprabhu used to go into ecstasy. So we see that relationship that Lalita has with Krishna and Radha being exhibited when Radha Krishna came together as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, manifested as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and how close Sarup Damodar was with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Lalita is the chief gopi, correct? Now, Lalita, being the chief gopi, has got 8 manjaris under her. Under who? Under Lalita. So each of the gopis have got, each of them have got their own specific groups of manjaris. So usually gopis also have a certain age, and manjaris are slightly younger, again eternal. So let's see who are the 8 prominent manjaris of Lalita Gopi. So they are called the Ashta Manjaris of Lalita. Prominent or the leader of the manjaris in the spiritual world is Rupa Manjari. And that is none other than Rupa Goswami. Right? So Lalita is the chief of the gopis, and amongst Lalita's manjaris, Rupa Manjari is the leader, is the chief. Along with Rupa Manjari, we've got Rasa Manjari, Guna Manjari, Rati Manjari, Kasturi Manjari, Lavanga Manjari, Vilas Manjari, and Manjulali Manjari. And I've highlighted in red, this is where the 6 Goswamis manifest from or appear from. So they are eternally associates of Lalita, or rather, they are under Lalita's group. Of course, they are all in one way associates of Krishna and Radha. So Rupa Manjari is Rupa Goswami, Rasa Manjari is Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Guna Manjari Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Rati Manjari Raghunath Das Goswami, Lavanga Manjari is Sanatan Goswami, and Vilas Manjari is Jiva Goswami. Yeah, so of these 8 Sakhis, 6 of them are, they manifested or they appeared as the 6 Goswamis under the guidance and taught us the process of devotional service under the guidance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So I thought before we delve into Rupa Goswami's life is to understand where he is, who he is in the spiritual world eternally. So now we can understand, if we have to approach Krishna, who do we have to approach Krishna through? Radharani. Now, approaching Radharani also, it's not easy. So to approach Radharani, who do we have to approach? We have to approach Lalita Sakhi, the chief, because she's khas, na. She'll just say, "Bhai, le lo isko," take him, or take her, whatever it is. But approaching Lalita Sakhi is also difficult. They are the principal gopis. So what hope have we got? Approaching Krishna is difficult, Radha is also difficult, Lalita is also difficult. So to approach Lalita, we need the mercy and shelter of Rupa Manjari. Now, Rupa Manjari is very magnanimous, exactly in the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Doesn't see anything, just gives us. You just desire, and this Rupa Manjari will make will send us in that direction. So the way to approach Krishna is through Rupa Manjari. So keep that in mind. I'm going to come back to Rupa Goswami as we discuss a bit more of how without Rupa Manjari, we have no hopes of serving Krishna. Okay, so next, when of course Rupa Goswami appeared in this material world to fulfill the instruction and the desires of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he appeared in a lineage of a very, very respectable Saraswat Brahman family who was based in Karnataka in South India. And they came from this lineage. It was a very popular and nice king called Sarvagya Jagadguru, whose son was Aniruddha, Rupeshwar, Padmanabh, Mukunda, and his son was Kumaradev. Now, Kumaradev and Revati was his wife. They were the parents of Rupa Goswami. So they had three. Eldest was Sanatan, who was known as Amar. Then was Rupa Goswami, his birth name was Santosh. And third was Anupam, or his birth name was Sri Vallabh. So Sri Vallabh, Santosh, and Amar. Those are the three sons of Kumardev. And later on, as we know, Amar became Sanatan Goswami, Santosh became Rupa Goswami, and Sri Vallabh became Anupam. And Anupam's had a son, illustrious son. And who was he? Srila Jiva Goswami.
Jiva Goswami.
Yes. Who is one of the most scholarly living entities in this universe. Not just Earth. Is one of the most scholarly living entities around. So all of these shastras that the other Goswamis had compiled, Jiva Goswami has given us a lot of commentaries, tikas, for a clearer and deeper understanding of the same shastras. So he was the nephew of Rupa Goswami and one of the prominent Goswamis. So we'll of course look at his life also as part of this series. So he was born from a material perspective in the year 1489, and he disappeared from our material vision in 1564. So in 75, he was in this earth planet in front of our material vision for 75 years. As I said, he was born in a Saraswat Brahman family. So although they were born, or they were from Karnataka, Kumardev and Revati, they shifted to Jasor, a place called Bakla Chandradeep in Jeshore, Bangladesh. And that's where he grew up, and his education and upbringing was in Bangladesh. And at that time, as most of you are aware, Bengal was the seat of education, of spiritual learning. Just like today, we've got Harvard and Cambridge. right? Massachusetts, they are like the big, once you go there, your life is made. Yale, from where Devamrit Maharaj also graduated. So they are very, very prestigious educational institutes. So like that, this whole Bengal, Gauda Desh, was the epitome or the center of all spiritual education. So naturally, they imbibed that particular spirit being there. So he studied Sanskrit under Vidya Vachaspati, who was the brother of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. From the very beginning, he was very attracted to scriptures, recited Bhagavatam regularly, and had a very, very wonderful nature right from his childhood. And as he grew up, he was loved by all the people around him, like the common men. And they were not only experts in Shastra, they were also showing by their own example to have loving relationships amongst all the living entities. And at that time, that Gauda Desh or Bengal was ruled by Nawab Hussain Shah. And seeing the popularity of these two brothers, actually, Sanatan, who's the elder brother, and Rupa Goswami, they were having obviously very similar qualities in Shastras and being loved by common people. To ensure that Nawab Hussain Shah has the support of the local people, he coaxed them. In fact, in one way, he kind of forced them to join his service. Sometimes devotees ask, why did they take up such a service? They were not interested in taking up the service. Nawab Hussain Shah tried. They rejected. And then, as you know, these kind of notorious people do, they started threatening him, because Nawab Hussain Shah also knows that these people not worried about their life. But he threatened him by saying, I'm going to harass and punish all the Brahmanas here. And that obviously they couldn't, as compassionate living entities or compassion they have for the living entities, they couldn't accept. So they were forced to join the service. And of course, we know that when they joined the service, they were not ordinary servants. Sanatan Goswami was the Prime Minister. And Rupa Goswami was the Chief Secretary. Right? So Sanatan Goswami was called Shakar Malik. Shakar Malik means like he's like minister. And Shakar means wise, or like we can say Prime Minister, the best. He's the best minister in Hussain Shah's cabinet or administration. And Rupa Goswami was called Dabir Khas. Khas means ekdam special, khas admi. So he was the principal secretary. So the entire, although it was ruled by Hussain Shah, the actual administrative day-to-day matters was solely and wholly in the hands of these two brothers. Now you can imagine the whole administration is under them. So all the taxes collected, all the things that, in terms of treasury, they have access to everything. So they, at that time, were two of the richest, wealthiest beings in Gauda Desh. Right? Now, what would we do? Oh, I just get this in. So what would we do if we had lots of money? We'll enjoy. Ash karo. Right? Now, what did Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami do? They used to live in a place called Ramkeli. And there they used their wealth to construct a Gupta Vrindavan. Just like how in Govardhan village, eco village in Vada, His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj has recreated that Vrindavan atmosphere. So we get an idea of Vrindavan by visiting this Vrindavan in Vada. So similarly, at that time, he constructed Gupta Vrindavan to remind devotees about Krishna and his pastimes. And at a certain point, when Mahaprabhu took sannyas and started exhibiting his Yuga Dharma, the reason why he is here, being his associates they knew about Mahaprabhu, they heard about Mahaprabhu, and they had some correspondence, some letters exchanged. As we see in the photograph, he's writing something. So they sent him letters, right? But eventually the two brothers got to know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to Namkeli. And so they immediately went to see him. And there is a nice, there are 3 verses from Chaitanya Charitamrita, which I thought it will be very nice to give us that mood of how, when the servant meets the master, how does the master react? And when the servant actually sees the master, how he's overwhelmed with so much emotion, so much love, and so much affection. So here it is said that Doinno Rodon Kore Ananda Vihbol. Prabhu Kahe Utho Utho Hoilo Mongol. So upon seeing Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the two brothers were overwhelmed with joy, and out of humility they began to cry. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked them to get up and assured them of all good fortune. Right? If we were there, we would tell Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu, first wish us good fortune, then we'll pay our obeisances. So it's just a wonderful exchange. So this is what they did. As soon as this was Mahaprabhu, they had these emotions. Then, what did Mahaprabhu say? Aji hoite duhar naam roop sanatan, doinno chhado tomar doinne phate mor mon. My dear Shakar Malik, from this day, your name will be changed to Srila Rupa and Srila Sanatan. Please abandon your humility, for my heart is breaking to see you so humble. And this particular verse has actually a very nice purport. So I would like to read that purport, if it's okay with you. It's not a long one, but it's got a very, very important aspect of initiation also, and why during initiation our names are changed. So I'll read that. Prabhupada ki jai. Purport. Actually, this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's initiation of Dabir Khas and Shakar Malik. They approached the Lord with all humility, and the Lord accepted them as old servants, as eternal servants, and He changed their names. It is to be understood from this that it is essential for a disciple to change his name after initiation. Shankha Chakradi Urdhvapundra Dharanadhyatma Lakshanam Tan Nama Karanam Chaiva Vaishnavatvam Ihochyate. So it is said that after initiation, the disciple's name must be changed to indicate that he is a servant of Lord Vishnu. The disciple should also immediately begin marking his body with tilak, urdhvapundra, especially his forehead. These are spiritual marks, symptoms of a perfect Vaishnav. This is a verse from the Padma Puran, Uttarakhand. A member of the Sahajiya Sampradaya does not change his name, therefore he cannot be accepted as a Gaudiya Vaishnav. If a person does not change his name after initiation, it is to be understood that he will continue in his bodily conception of life. And that's why it is said, when one gets initiated, we must all call that devotee by his initiated name. So it's not just a fashion or an option. We must do that. Then Mahaprabhu reveals why he came to Ramkeli. He says, Gaur nikot ashite nahi mor prayojon, toma duha dekhite mor iha agumon. He says, I had no intention, I had no business of coming to Bengal. But I have come just to meet you two, my eternal servants. Now imagine if the master says like this to the servant. The servant is anyway choked with emotion just by seeing the master. And when the master says, Bhai, I have left everything just to come and meet you, how much emotion it will be there with the two brothers. I was reading this and thinking, oh my God, how would Rupa Goswami be feeling at that point? First time they meet Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu says, I've left everything and I've come only to see you. Just a wonderful exchange here. So ultimately, of course, there are a lot of pastimes of first time, of course, he met with Sanatana Goswami. Subsequently, we know the famous pastime where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu met Rupa Goswami at the Shashwamedh Ghat in Prayag. And for 10 days, he was instructing Rupa Goswami about the philosophy and the intricacies of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. So Rupa Goswami was obviously Shrutidhar, being an eternal associate. He heard everything from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he gave shape to those instructions. So these instructions that he gave were very significant. And amongst the instructions, there are some specific tasks that he gave Rupa Goswami. In fact, Sanatan as well, but we will be discussing those specific tasks a bit later. So what were the main instructions? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explained the science of the rasa. So he explained the various rasas and he specifically highlighted the importance and the topmost level of Madhurya Ras, which is the highest and most intimate. So this rasa can only be explained by Krishna. Only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could explain it. And only an eternal associate can understand it. But it is very difficult for common people to understand because we are in this conditioned existence. So Rupa Goswami actually took these instructions and put them into his writings. And we'll see some of the important books that he compiled, some of which we are already aware of. So because he got the science of rasa from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he elaborately wrote on it with the intention of not becoming a pandit, but intention of delivering this message or giving this science of rasa to common living entities who want to progress in bhakti. Because he did that, he got the title of Rasacharya. He is the Acharya of Rasa. So if you want to understand the relationship of Krishna with the living entities and the different types of tastes in those relationships, we have no other way but to approach this subject matter through Srila Rupa Goswami. So again, we are dependent on Rupa Goswami to understand our relationship, to understand the sweetness of our relationship with Krishna. So that's the first and foremost. Second, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also told Rupa Goswami about Krishna himself. Who is Krishna? He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and he is the only object of our love. Third, he also instructed Rupa Goswami about who we are, Jivas. What is our nature? What is our nature? Jivero Swarup hoy, Krishnero Nitya Das. We are nothing but eternal servants of the Supreme Personality of Godhead who are engaged in his loving service and we have a certain rasa. And the last and the most important part is the science of bhakti. So elaborate stages right from Shraddha to Prem and the aspects of sadhana bhakti and bhava bhakti, prema bhakti were very nicely described by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Rupa Goswami very systematically put that forward. So these are the four. I mean, there are a lot more subject matters. I've just distilled these four. It doesn't mean it's only these. There are other subject matters related to this topic in more detail, but I've just highlighted the important ones. So, amongst the instructions that he gave to Rupa Goswami, these four are the most prominent. And because of just doing these four things, we are indebted to Rupa Goswami eternally. Not in this lifetime. Eternally, we will remain indebted to Rupa Goswami. So what are those tasks that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed Rupa Goswami, and Rupa Goswami successfully fulfilled them? First, Tirthodhar. So to uncover the lost holy places. So Vrindavan was practically lost. Only some people living around the Vrindavan area knew somewhere around there is Vrindavan. But nobody, the Vrindavan that we see today was completely lost. No idea. And it is said Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, when he went there, even he was finding it. And he took a bath in Radhakund. And when he took a bath and he came out, he confirmed that yes, this is Radhakund. So he could see Vrindavan in a covered state. So he instructed Rupa Goswami directly and said, it is your job to uncover all the holy places, all the pastime places in Vrindavan. And why? To make them accessible to the general public. That is the first one, Tirthodhar. Second, Murti Pratishtha. That you need to establish the worship of divine forms of the Lord. And not only establish, is to make his presence something like a tangible reality. You have to explain this to the devotees. And this will be a primary devotional engagement. The devotees can connect to the Lord through the medium of Archa Vigraha. So this deity worship is extremely, extremely important. And sometimes we forget that the deity, whether at home or in the temple, is Krishna himself. Sometimes we just dress the deity and think, I hope Krishna sees. We are looking at Krishna elsewhere. Krishna is standing in front of us. It's all about consciousness. So Murti is not a plaything. It is not something that you can take very lightly or cheaply. It is Krishna. But our consciousness, because it is covered, we don't have that right consciousness. So Rupa Goswami was told to establish that whole aspect of devotional service. Third, Grantha Rachana. That is his biggest contribution. To systematically explain the philosophy and practice of Krishna consciousness. This word is very important, systematically. And Prabhupada, in his purpose of ISKCON, also he uses this word, systematically propagate spiritual knowledge. Again, it is exactly in line with Rupa Goswami. As Prabhupada says, he is the father of this Krishna consciousness movement. And fourth, Siddhanta Prachar. To propagate the regulations of bhakti, of devotional life. Why? To provide practical guidance on how to lead a spiritual life and ultimately attain the highest perfection, which is Prema Bhakti. So these are 4 tasks. So even if you forget all the other things, just remember these 4. This is what Rupa Goswami is to be always, we should feel indebted to him. So he gave us the Siddhanta, he gave us the Grantha, he gave us Murti Pratishtha, and he gave us the Tirthasthan. And even one of these 4 is enough to make striding progress in the path of bhakti. What to talk about all the 4. So if you see, Prabhupada has specifically given us all these 4, is it not? It's Prabhupada who established Mayapur, who established Vrindavan. It is Prabhupada who said, every devotee, whether in the Grihastha ashram, living here, living outside, wherever they are, they must engage in deity worship. Grihastha means deity worship. And 3 and 4 are for everybody. Without having access to the books and the scriptures of bhakti, it is very difficult to make any progress in bhakti. And to that extent, Prabhupada was insistent that the books are there. Devotees know that I should read the books, but they have busy lifestyle. It's very difficult to read them. And there's no motivation. So what did Prabhupada do? He dropped an atom bomb. What was it? He said, do Bhakti Shastri. And not as a listener, as a full-fledged student, give exams. It's only when we give exams and write assignments, we will take it seriously. So if when we are doing these kind of courses, we are exactly aligning ourselves with Prabhupada and Srila Rupa Goswami. So remember these four: deity, worship, holy places, Grantha, and philosophy. These are the four things we should remember as soon as Rupa Goswami, the word Rupa Goswami comes in our mind. So, most important next is the literary works, the scriptures that Srila Rupa Goswami painfully compiled for us. And Srila Rupa Goswami painfully translated that for us. So Rupa Goswami put the syrup on the spoon so that we can drink. And Prabhupada put the spoon into our mouth. Even then we cannot open our mouth. We tell, why it is so difficult. It is in front of us only. We just have to open the mouth. That's it. Everything is done for us. It's just so wonderful. So let's look at some of his important books. I'm not going to ask the two primary books that Rupa Goswami wrote. Yes, that is the life and soul of every devotee. It is in line with Bhagavad Gita. Like Bhagavad Gita is a foundational document in a devotee's life. Similarly, two of Rupa Goswami's books are the foundational document in a devotee's life. And they are Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, or the Nectar of Devotion. Everything and anything related to Bhakti Yoga is there in that book. Just by reading one book of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Bhakti Charu Maharaj became a devotee and gave his life to Srila Prabhupada. Can you imagine? Second is Upadeshamrita. Those of you who are doing current Bhakti Shastri and completed this module, you would realize the importance, having studied it scrutinizingly, of how important are these instructions in the life of a devotee. Without this, we'll be completely lost. Then he also gave us another wonderful magnum opus called Ujjwal Nilamani, which is nothing but more advanced or detailed version of Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, whereby he concentrated wholly and fully on the Madhurya Rasa aspect. And then he wrote these wonderful two dramas, Vidagdha Madhava and Lalita Madhava. They're Sanskrit dramas. So one is based on Vrindavan pastimes of Krishna, Vidagdha Madhava, and Lalita Madhava is based on his Dwarka activities. Krishna in Dwarka and his pastimes in Dwarka. Then he also gave us Lagu Bhagavatamrita, or the concise summary of the different incarnations of the Lord. He also gave us Stavamala. There is a wonderful song in the songbook from Stavamala. Can anybody recollect? It's a beautiful collection of prayers revealing Rupa Goswami's personal devotional sentiments and spiritual realizations. And then, of course, he gave us Danakeli Kaumudi, which is another drama, which is specifically highlighting the toll collecting pastime of Krishna and the gopis. Okay, now I've got a quiz for you. Can anybody tell me which place is this? Clue 1, clue 2, clue 3.
Ter Kadamba.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
What is the significance of Ter Kadamba? What happened here?
Krishna and Balram's pastimes.
Yes, of course. They are all over Vrindavan, correct? Specifically.
Radharani comes and gives the sweet rice thing for
Oh,
Rupa
yes.
Goswami to prepare for
Yes,
Krishna.
yes, that also happened, correct? Another thing,
All the cows.
His house
with
from
respect to Rupa Goswami.
Oh, because I
He
wrote all
wrote
the
one.
details.
One by one. Sorry.
Sorry.
Here.
He
Yes.
stayed there, Prabhuji.
Stay?
He lived there. Rupa Goswami lived there many years.
Yes, and
He wrote
Wrote all the literature.
yes, he wrote
Yes.
Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu here
Sindhu.
in Ter Kadamba. So this is
And
the origin of Bhakti.
And Prabhu, this tree which you have mentioned, which you have taken a picture here,
Yes.
This is a special tree with when Rupa Goswami used to write the conjugal pastimes
Yes.
of Krishna and Radha
Yes.
Rani. The
Correct.
tree blossoms, and when they are the separation pastimes, the tree becomes like the autumn appears for the tree.
Correct.
The
And the
tree has
flowers
no
fall.
leaves, and all leaves fall down.
Correct. Absolutely right. 100%. Great. Sorry, I can't give you any prizes for guessing that. It's fantastic. Online, okay? Fantastic. Yes, this is Ter Kadamba, one of the must-go places in Vrindavan. Of course, the primary temples are there, but this is very important. Okay. Now, another quiz. What is this? Everybody will know that. I know it's a very simple quiz.
Radha Damodar temple.
And yes,
This
you're
is
right.
the Samadhi.
Yes, this is the
Samadhi
Samadhi
of the
of
Sad
Rupa Goswami.
Goswamis.
Rupa Goswami.
Goswami.
Why is this Samadhi
Hare Krishna,
important
Prabhuji,
for us?
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
How are you doing, Prabhuji? Very good, Prabhuji. This was nice to hear.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. He's not talking to me. Okay. Sorry, what was it? Where were we? Yeah, so I was saying this particular place, this is so important for us. Rupa Goswami Samadhi. Yes. Now, okay, all Goswamis have got the Samadhi. So what is so special about this? Of course, it's in Radha Damodar, which has got Samadhis of so many Acharyas. How many of you have been to Radha Damodar or Vrindavan? If I can see all of you, I can see some of you. So this place, this Rupa Goswami Samadhi.
Is it the place where the Prabhupada started his journey, Prabhuji? Rupa Goswami coming to
Yes,
the
so
dream of Prabhupada?
correct.
He used to sleep there.
So he would seek his blessings before embarking on the US journey, I believe.
Yes,
I'm taking a guess.
absolutely.
I mean, this is something which you had mentioned in the Nectar of Instruction.
Correct. Thank you. Good student. He remembers.
No, nothing.
Fantastic. Yes. So we all know when Prabhupada was in Vrindavan, he used to stay there. He used to stay in the Radha Damodar temple.
Yeah.
And in the Radha Damodar temple, if you go there even now, Prabhupada's room is there. And if you see in Prabhupada's room, there is a small window. And through that window, when Prabhupada was in his room, he could see the Samadhi of Rupa Goswami. There is a nice story mentioned by one of the Mahants in Radha Damodar temple that the Mahant, after he used to go to sleep at night, in the middle of the night, he used to hear somebody brooming the place next to the Samadhi and crying, like literally crying. So he thought maybe, he's just dreaming or something. So that day he didn't do anything. Next day again, same time, he heard the same sounds. And this time he kind of said that, look, am I dreaming or not? No, I'm not dreaming. Who's this? So by the time he went, apparently the sound went away. So third day, he heard the same sound, same time. So this time he said, I should find out who this is and what is he doing. So this was around 2 or 3 at night. So he went out of his room and he hid behind and he saw Prabhupada with the broom in his hand. He was cleaning the Samadhi that you see on the bottom left is currently revamped and it's a sheltered area. But what you see on the top where Prabhupada is sitting, that's open. So he used to sweep the Samadhi and he used to weep. And you know why he was weeping? He was weeping that I have been given a very impossible task by my Guru Maharaj. I cannot do it. I am not capable of doing it. I'm not qualified to do it. So, Rupa Goswami, I need your mercy. You are the chief of the Goswamis. You are the primary disciple of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If you empower me, anything is possible. And he was begging and crying for the mercy of Rupa Goswami. So for Prabhupada, this place was extremely special. And for followers of Prabhupada also, this place is extremely special and very emotional. You know, when devotees explain these topics and pastimes in Radha Damodar Mandir, you know, just tears flow from the eyes. It's just a wonderful place. So Rupa Goswami, not only, I mean, it is said that a samadhi of a acharya is alive even now. When Prabhupada was sweeping, he was not sweeping at a burial place. He was actually invoking the blessings of Rupa Goswami, and actually he got it. So even now when we go there and we beg for the mercy of Rupa Goswami, we will still get the mercy. His mercy is there and is constantly flowing eternally. So it is here in this place that he entered his Nitya Leela. He finished off his earthly pastimes and he entered Radha Govind, which is his worshipable deity, in 1564, as I was mentioning. And of course, this is his samadhi within the Radha Damodar temple. And this is Prabhupada's room. And that's that window behind Rupa Goswami. And this is Rupa Goswami giving him divine darshan and telling him, don't worry, everything is arranged. He assures Prabhupada. It's just a wonderful photograph that is very common and very popular. So at the end of the day, Prabhuji and Matajis, we are completely dependent on Rupa Goswami. Without Rupa Goswami, we have no hopes. Forget it. Forget it completely. And primarily, two things to remember in terms of dependency. Right? What are the two things? First is, as Rupa Goswami, because of him, we can understand and appreciate the mood of Lord Chaitanya. We can understand the process of devotional service as given by Lord Chaitanya when he came as in the form of his devotee to teach us the science of bhakti. So without Rupa Goswami, we can't understand Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Without Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we cannot understand the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. No way. Second, as Rupa Manjari. Why? As I said in the earlier when we started, that he is the only one who provides direct access to Radharani through Lalita Sakhi. And obviously, as soon as somebody reaches Radharani, Krishna is there waiting. So every time we feel a bit down or our bhakti seems to be a bit ups and downs and challenges, we have to take shelter of Rupa Goswami. So ultimately, we are all Rupanugas. We are followers of Rupa Goswami, completely dependent on the mercy of Rupa Goswami. So we have to understand his mood, understand how he gives scriptures, how he gave the process to people at large, follow it ourselves, and take upon us the responsibility of not only following it, but also distributing it. Just like how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was so happy. He could have done the whole thing, but he wanted Rupa Goswami to do it. He empowered Rupa Goswami. And when Rupa Goswami did it, how happy was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? So when Prabhupada followed the instruction of Rupa Goswami, how wonderfully happy Rupa Goswami might have been. And if we, in our own small way, try to follow the instructions of Rupa Goswami and Prabhupada, how happy will Prabhupada be? How happy will Rupa Goswami be? And if Rupa Goswami is happy, Krishna and Radharani are extremely happy. And that is the perfection of this human form of existence as a person who's trying to be devoted to the service of Radha and Krishna. Srila Rupa Goswami ki jai. Thank you very much.